Good afternoon and welcome to Countrywide on Benue Television. My name is Winifred Hughes. So, on the headlines, Tinubu kicks off payment of student loans. President Tinubu approves Wilson Jack to succeed Yemi Esan as head of the civil service. Plus, Nasu Sanu protest 4-month withheld salaries. The Chief Medical Director, Benue State University Teaching Hospital, Makurdi, Dr. Stephen Wande, calls on Benue people to join hands with Governor Hassan Talia's administration to develop the state-owned hospital to international standard. Dr. Wande's call Wednesday is part of a news briefing on activities that will take place in the 2-day international summit and scientific exhibition holding today and Friday at the University Teaching Hospital premises in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Our correspondent Matthew Ikulono was there and now reports.
It is said to be the first of its kind that will be taking place at the state-owned health institution. Dr. Kwande, Wednesday, during the briefing, notes Governor Alia's efforts towards bringing transformation to health sector, highlighting the achievements of the hospital since assumption to office.
There are plans to upgrade salary payments for health workers. When the salaries are upgraded in the area of health, brain drain, Japa syndrome, and migration will be up, and the Benue people, even at the primary and secondary health sectors, will be developed. So we are transforming the hospital. If you go around this hospital today, you see any paper anywhere, you know that something is wrong. Go around yourself. Cobwebs and hygiene is restored here. We have employed not less than 600 and being very minimal staff in all cadre in this hospital to beef up what was already existing, because you cannot improve hospital without manpower. I was brought in not less than 10 to 12 professors back into the fold of the teaching hospital to give quality and professional and expertise at the highest level. Neurosurgery is done here now, and the rest of all.
The CMD also calls on Benue people to join hands in developing the hospital to international standards as a response to governor's development strides in the state. Dr. Wande informs the programs of the summit will start on Thursday, July 18, 2024 with scientific exhibition, while on Friday, major events will be unveiling of ultra-modern cancer center and launching of 5 billion naira endowment fund.
Now during the summit, we are going to discuss basically attaining one-stop hospital as the first arm, and then the second thing, which is significant, is unveiling our desire to set up an ultra-modern cancer center. We want to begin a process of changing the narrative on cancer management, not just in Benue, but in North Central Nigeria. That endowment fund is a 5 billion endowment fund that we're doing on the second day. So 2 things on that first day, second day, the attaining one-stop hospital. The second one is an endowment for cancer.
The CND discloses that the summit will become an annual event going forward to build on the gains of this year's summit. The Chief Medical Director sees the opportunity to remind Benue people to remain supportive to the governor, who has been very committed to the welfare of Benue people to the point of ensuring the civil servants who were sacked in 2011 will take back their jobs, and the casual workers who have been in service for many years on temporary appointment will be converted into permanent status. The theme for this year's summit is attaining a one-stop hospital. Matthew Ikulono, Benue Television News, Makurdi.
Thank you, Matthew. The coast is now clear for the Income and Expenditure Commission set up by Governor Hassan Talia to resume sitting over the income and expenditures of the state from 2015 to 2023. This latest development follows a court process that Wednesday set aside an ex parte order granted to immediate past Governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, in May to stop the commission from sitting. Dosu Duku tells us more.
Early hours of Wednesday, the magistrate court sitting in Makurdi Makurdi delivers ruling on the ex-parte order granted to the former governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, on May 29, 2024, forbidding the commission from investigating the income and expenditure of the state during his tenure. Delivering ruling on the matter at the magistrate court, Justice Tetsia Aswa says the law is settled as ex-parte order cannot be granted for long and shall abate after 7 days. He went further to quote Order 39, Rule 3, which speaks on the ex-parte order of injunction, which should not be allowed to overstay, therefore discharges and vacates the order in line with the application counsel reference to Order 40, Rule 6A. At the resumed hearing, counsel to the respective respondent makes case for the discharge of the interim order on the ground that it has expired and breached the fundamental right of fair hearing. Reacting to this ruling, counsel to the respondent Clement Moore says the ruling has been based on the wisdom of the court according to Order 39 of the rules of the court, though it has not tampered with their case.
This was an oral application made by the respondents, order earlier granted by the Honorable Court in compliance with Order 40, Rule 3, Sub Rule 6A, which state that the grant for leave to apply for judicial review shall operate as stay. But in the wisdom of the court felt that the order of interim injunction is not supposed to last indefinitely, and so evoked the provisions of Order 39 of the rules of this court to vacate same. I think it does not in any way affect the substance of our case. We are coming back here on the 22nd of July 2024 to hear the substantive matter. So it has nothing to do with the substantive case.
A member of the commission and lawyer Tom Uja, commenting on this ruling, says the coast is now clear for them to begin their work.
The business of the court today was to decide on the fate of the interim injunction earlier granted against the Commission of Inquiry. The Honorable Court, in its wisdom, discharged this interim injunction, therefore giving the Commission of Inquiry the right and permission to continue with its business by calling, hearing, and making decisions about the memoranda submitted to it. I'm pretty sure that before the end of the day, certain notices will be sent to certain persons, and the key witness to first appear before us will be determined by the chairman, but you cannot speculate who that witness will be.
In a swift reaction, the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice and Public Order Fidelis Nyim expresses excitement over the ruling of the court, saying the case of the respondent is limited in nature and ambitious. He urges Benue people to feel free to come with their memorandum.
Excitement is stemmed from the fact that the Commission of Inquiry was set to do the work for the Benue people. And now, if the former governor is having a challenge, or if he has a defense, he would have ordinarily come to appear before them. But yeah, he's right to file a case. By filing a case, you should not foreclose the door of the commission to do their work. Like argued in court, these lawyers are so much aware that their case is limited in nature, where it's not in totality of the mandate of the Commission for Inquiry.
Substantive hearing of the case has been fixed for 22nd of July 2024. With this development, the income and expenditure is to commence sitting as soon as possible. Dosu Duku, Benue Television News, Makurdi.
Thank you, Dosu. Benue State Emergency Management Agency BSEMA has donated life jackets to Buruku local government to address the challenge of flooding for 2024 in Buruku local government area. Benue State government has donated life jackets to the people in that region to avoid loss of lives. Acting Executive Secretary, Benue State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, James Yopu, during the donation, appealed to the people of Buruku to make judicious use of the jackets to avoid losing their lives while ferrying themselves across the river. He recalled that amid threats of further impending flooding, the National Emergency Management Agency had earlier informed Benue State of the impending flood, and to respond to their alert, Benue SEMA swiftly procured the life jackets to protect lives. Principal Media Aide to Executive Secretary SEMA, Tefa Anna, conveys the leader's appeal to the people to make judicious use of the jackets to avoid loss of lives. Some commissioners, Tizai Mojume and Omale and Ondwasi Kunde, in separate comments acknowledged Governor Lia's efforts aimed at prioritizing the interest of his people, saying the Benue SEMA's move was a swift response ahead of the impending flood, worthy of commendation. Other top government officials, civil society organizations, Benue SEMA staff witnessed the presentation. Countrywide, we'll go on a very quick break. We will be back shortly. Do stay with us. Welcome. Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON, calls on Nigerian government to, as a matter of urgency, provide assistance to broadcast media in the country to enhance their operations. The call came Wednesday during the 79th General Assembly in Benin City, Edo State. Fidelia Zashand was there and reports.
It is the second time Benin City will play host to the 79th General Assembly of Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON. Top media practitioners across the country have gathered here to decide the fate of the industry in the nearest future. The two-day event comes under the theme Navigating the Challenges of Broadcasting in Nigeria and is expected to come up with a communique that will be presented to the federal government to address some pressing issues affecting the broadcast industry. Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, represented by the Commissioner for Communication and Orientation, Mr. Chris Nekare, responding to the earlier request made by BON, promises to make everything possible to assist at the state level.
The role of the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria is paramount in ensuring that our airways are filled with content that educates, entertains, and empowers our citizens. Through our collective efforts, we have the power to influence public opinion, drive social change, and uphold values of democracy and freedom of expression. In Edo State, we have remained committed to supporting the media. We have promoted free, independent, diverse media landscape, particularly during this critical time in the build-up to the September 21 governorship election.
In a goodwill message, the Director General, Nigeria Broadcasting Commission, NBC, Charles Ebube, promises to strengthen partnership with BON.
Our common goal is clear. It is to enhance the quality and the reach of broadcasting in Nigeria, upholding the principles of fairness, accuracy, and inclusivity. The NBC is committed to fostering a regulatory environment that not only ensures compliance and accountability, but also encourages innovation and growth within the industry.
Chairman of BON and Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Comrade Salihu Dembos, represented by Vice Chairman BON and Group Managing Director DA Communication, Chief Tony Akioto, describes the present state of BON as that of a person in an intensive care unit that needs urgent assistance from the government.
Broadcasting is going through perilous times. As we speak, very few stations operate more than 6 hours a day across the length and breadth of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That's the information available to us in Bonn.
Director General Benue Television Corporation, Dr. Patience Achakbakyo, who is also present in the meeting, expresses optimism over the outcome of the communique.
During this 79th General Assembly, the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria is trying to help the stations address the circumstances, and the best way to describe what the stations are going through in Nigeria at the moment is to say that they are in ICU, in which they are needing urgent medical attention from the federal government and even the state to help the stations come back to where they are able to manage.
In attendance are director generals and general managers of different broadcasting organizations of Bonn.
Thank you, Yuangi. President Bola Tinubu Wednesday approved the designation of Mrs. Didi Esther Wilson-Jack as the next head of the Civil Service of the Federation, HOCSF. Mrs. Wilson-Jack, whose appointment will take effect on August 14th, will succeed incumbent Dr. Folashade Yemiesan, who will bow out of the service on August 13th. Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngelale, who issued a statement of the HOCSF appointment, described Mrs. Wilson-Jack as a seasoned civil servant. Permanent Secretary in 2017, Mrs. Wilson-Jack has served in various ministries. According to the statement, President Tinubu has charged the HOCSF in waiting to bring innovative ideas, integrity, and a strong commitment to the rules and regulations of the civil service. The President, however, expressed gratitude to the outgoing head of service for her dedication and stewardship. With a signal from President Bola Tinubu, the student loan scheme, one of the cardinal programs of the administration, commenced Wednesday. The 32 billion naira made available for the program will be given as loans to successful applicants. According to the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, the agency running the scheme, 103,000 successful applications were received. It said 164,000 students were registered between May 25th, when the portal opened, and July 17th. The President gave out dummy checks to students and some vice chancellors to symbolically kickstart the scheme. The student loan scheme is a novelty meant to make loans available to indigent students or those unable to pay their fees. Beneficiaries' tuition will be paid directly to the institution, while only the stipend will be paid to successful applicants. President Tinubu declared education as the biggest weapon against poverty and the most effective battle axe to fight insecurity. NEL Fund's Executive Secretary and Managing Director Akintunde Sawyer restated that the scheme aims to empower youth by removing financial barriers to their academic pursuit. Reeling out NEL Fund's progress since the launch, Sawyer said the fund got key amendments to its Establishment Act on April 3, 2024, and secured dashboard metrics on May 25th. He explained that students applied for two types of loan: educational fees, which are sent directly to their institutions of learning, and applications for upkeep fund, which serves as their monthly stipend. Let's take another quick break. We'll be back shortly. Do stay with us. Welcome. Bishops of the Methodist Church in Nigeria have charged the federal government to implement policies that will tame inflation in the country, warning that if the economic challenges facing Nigerians are not tackled, it may lead to chaos and anarchy. The bishops spoke at the end of the 41st Annual Council meeting of Bishops of the Methodist Church in Nigeria with the theme, Arise and Build, held at Horace Memorial Methodist Cathedral, Archdiocese of Lagos Mainland in Sabo, Lagos. They insisted that concerted efforts from the government were important to alleviate the financial strain on consumers and sustain economic stability amidst ongoing economic challenges. The bishops, in a communique read by the prelate Dr. Oliver Lee Abba, said the council expresses alarm at the high rates of unemployment among young people, which is linked to various social vices. The Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions (NASU) and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities (SANU) has commenced a one-day nationwide protest over their 4-month withheld salaries. Their protest has led to disruption in administrative work in universities and inter-university centers. As early as 7:30 a.m. Thursday, the union members converged on the popular Unity Fountain, Abuja, from where they were marched on the Federal Ministries of Education and Labor and Employment. General Secretary of NASU, Peter Sadeyemi, said letters would be presented to both ministries. The workers are asking the federal government to pay them what they owe them. The unions said meetings with the government over the withheld salaries have not yielded positive results. Former Minister of Labor and Employment, Senator Chris Ngige, invoked the no work, no pay policy when the 4 university-based unions embarked on a prolonged strike in 2022. Salaries of members of the university-based unions who participated in the strike were withheld by the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. But President Bola Tinubu in October 2023 granted amnesty to the university workers and directed that 4 months of the withheld salaries be paid to them. That's all we'll have for you on Countrywide, but before we go, let's take a recap of our top stories. President Tinubu has kicked off payment of students' loans. We told you President Tinubu has approved Wilson Jack to succeed Yemi Esan as head of the civil service. We intimated you that NASU SANU protests 4 months withheld salaries. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Winifred. So keep watching Benway Television.